I am Vinnie Tortorich, folks. Your good intentions have been stolen, but don't worry. I'm here to help you get them back. You may be soft and succulent at the beginning of this process, but hang in there. Before long, you will be lean and mean, guaranteed. It's the Monday show. You know what that means. We're bringing a beautiful Miss Anna Vocino. Anna, how are you doing?
I'm doing amazing. Thank you so much for asking. How are you?
And I'm losing my voice already. This is show number
That's all right.
4.
You're doing good. You're doing
How about
good.
show number 4, back to back? As a matter of fact, my only reprieve was my computer was running hot, and the last show didn't even want to upload.
Yeah.
So I had to call you and say, hey, I need an extra 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then you and I started having a conversation off the air.
Yeah. About stuff.
I'm in such a pickle right now. And you know what? Nothing is insurmountable, but we try to do so much stuff around here, and sometimes things just backfire. And
sometimes things feel really real, and I have to remind myself that this too shall pass, because it does. And how we relate that to fitness is when you feel like, oh my God, I've been stuck for my whole life at the same weight, and it's never going to happen, and it's never going to work out for me. And it will. This too shall pass.
And can I talk a little bit about addiction?
Sure.
Sugar addiction, carb addiction. There's a woman I talk to on a fairly regular basis. She knows who she is. And we were talking about, she's lost a significant amount of weight. About 100 pounds.
Wow.
But she only has 100. She's got another 100 to go. And she started stalling out, gained a couple of pounds here and there, lost a couple of pounds, stalled out again. It's one of those deals, right?
Yeah.
And I said, look, if you're stalling out, I don't like to call them plateaus because your body never plateaus. Your body's always doing something. If you're doing things right, it's going to move in the right direction. I've always said this about an animal, a dog, a horse, doesn't matter. The animal is always learning something. Whether it's positive or negative is up to us, right? It's the same when it comes to weight loss, health, whether we do something positive or negative, it's always up to us. And I'm talking to this woman. Let's call her, I don't want to give her a real name. Let's call her Judy, because no one's named Judy anymore. And Judy was explaining, she was like, yeah, I'm doing everything right. But when I started questioning her deeper, she was like, well, I've been slipping up here and there. And usually when a sugar addict says this, they're doing more than slipping. Sure. They're doing enough. I use a term. I always say we're never so brilliant as when we're justifying our own bad behavior. Right? You can do something. People that drink too much. It's easy. We could talk about people who drink, right? People who drink will say, oh, I didn't have that many. I had 1 or 2. Well, is it 1 or 2? Or according to my friend, Dr. Drew, is it 4, 5, or 6? Are you lying to you or me or both of us, right? And the same thing happens with food addiction, especially sugar addiction. People will tell me what they think I want to hear. I need the truth. I need the down and the dirty, right? And that's usually where people fall off the page, on the down and dirty, right? And I'm always trying to keep people on track, if that makes any sense. And when I started talking to this woman, I was like, are you going to sleep? We talked about getting more sleep. No, not really. I've been staying up late. Why? Well, I've been agitated, nervous, and everything else. Okay, that's one problem. Does that cause you to snack late at night? Well, a little bit, but I'm having nuts, or I'm doing this, or I'm doing that. You start doing small things, and then the next day you start doing bigger things. And before you know it, you're not losing 1 or 2 or 3 pounds a week. You're not losing anything, and you start gaining weight. And sure enough, when this woman started doing that, she started losing weight again.
Good for her.
Right? So, folks, think about it. And listen, do what Judy does. Give me a phone call. Set up a phone call. You might think, oh, I got this. I got this. I'm not going to waste the money. I don't need to waste Vinnie's time. Do it. Do it, because you don't end up in that situation, right? You've put in too much work to go in reverse. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Good. That was just on my mind.
I was going to say, I think that's great. And I was going to say, if anything, Vinnie can tweak your Bulgarian split squats and a whole new world of muscle soreness will be opened up to you.
Do tell, Anna, what happened when you called me on that fateful day?
Oh, well, I must have been vibing you because you were also at the gym working out next to a really cute, sweet young thing.
Yeah, and I was helping her with hip thrust.
Yes, I noticed that. I'm sorry I interrupted you.
Yeah. She was kind of
cute.
Can
you help your menopausal friend do Bulgarian split squats for a sec?
Hang on, beautiful woman. There's a middle-aged woman calling me and she's FaceTiming me. Let me see what she needs.
I got to answer it. I'm never going to hear the end of it. No, it's not my wife. She's more annoying than a wife.
You know what's so weird about it? I don't carry my phone with me in the gym. It was in a little cubby hole and I was near the cubby, and the phone rang and Serena was asking me some business questions. And I went, oh, this is Serena. I got to pick up. And I went over and it was you.
Tricked you.
And I went, oh, I pick it up now. I got to pick it up. Yeah. And you need to know how to do a Bulgarian split squat. And
apparently the whole thing was great, but I wasn't dipping far enough down. So my back knee wasn't hitting the ground, touching the ground.
And the problem some people have is they have the back foot on something too high.
Right.
I see that a lot. And folks, when you're just learning this, getting your foot 6 or 8 inches, the back foot off the floor is more than enough. You don't have to have it up on a bench. You don't have to have it.
You could put it up on a step and do it.
Right. A riser on a step is generally 8 inches.
Correct me if I'm wrong. It's more important that you're putting your weight into your standing leg that you're squatting on. Correct?
The squatting leg.
Yeah, the squatting leg.
Front leg, not the back.
Now, I'm pretty flexible and I feel a pretty big stretch in the quads when I do it. So I'm trying to remember to keep my hips relaxed, and just put all the weight and everything that's happening into the squatting leg.
You're going to feel the stretch. People say to me all the time, it's like, hey, when I do lunges, I feel it in my back leg. And I'll say, where do you feel it? And they'll go, right in my quad.
My hip flexor. Yeah.
It's because you need to stretch that muscle before you do the exercise.
Mm.
You're not working that muscle as hard as you're working the other side. You're basically stretching it beyond what it's used to stretching. So doing some quad stretches before you start could help that.
That's a good idea.
You don't have to do a lot of them, but you have to do some. Anna, go ahead and look at my Instagram.
I will, but I have one more question to ask while we're on this.
Sure. Stay on this forever if you want.
I feel, and I hope other people can relate to this. So whenever I've lifted in the past, I feel like even though I'm working to fatigue, I feel energized. I love it. It feels great. Right?
Right.
And I'm wondering if this is because for sure my hormone panels have been tested. The estrogen is plummeting. We're at the end here. And so I feel more fatigued faster. Is that a hormonal change thing?
It could be.
Like I'm shocked at how much I'm like, oh. Like while I'm doing it, I feel like I'm not as strong as I used to be. And I don't like that feeling.
Well, as we get older, it's, I always use the old joke, the older I get, the faster I used to be. And, that truth is the same with,
That's funny. I like that phrase.
I go in the gym and the older I get, the stronger I used to be. It's the same thing as with the faster. Look, our telomeres get shorter. Our bodies are slowly rusting. We have sarcopenia, and people go, well, Vinnie, you said I can reverse that. You can slow it down to almost a halt, but you're not going to stop it. We're getting older. And as we get older, I think about stuff I was able to do 5 years ago, and it would be a dream now if I could do those things.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Well, maybe that's what I'm experiencing because it felt like It's not like I can't do it. It just feels differently, like less. I feel less. Not in a bad way, but also not in a great way either. You know what I mean? It's just different. It's different.
I still go to failure when I work out. And I love that feeling. I love that feeling of my body just getting that full stress, just, whichever muscle group I'm working, whether it's push, pull, or legs. I like going to failure. And I know I've done a good job when I leave the gym about an hour later, I feel like I need to take a nap. Like my body's like so relaxed. It's like I could just I almost feel like someone drugged me. It's like it's like, oh my God, I just want to take it. And I get past it, I'll drink a cup of coffee, I'll get past it. But I like that feeling. It's that really calm feeling you get. The same thing would happen. I do mostly zone 2, but every once in a while I'll do a thing where I'll say, let me do on the bike or on the rowing machine. I'll say, I'm gonna do 3 or 4 1-minute intervals where I just blast, right? Blast. I might do that once every 2 or 3 weeks because I do so
your own version of a hit cardio.
Yeah, but it's only 2 or 3 hits of it, right? I'll do a minute on, 90 seconds off, a minute on, 90 seconds off. I'll do 3. Sometimes I'll do 4 like that, right? In the middle of a workout, and I'll get right back down to zone 2. After those workouts, I get that feeling, right? That, oh my God, I'm so relaxed. I feel like a wet dish rag. I can just fall asleep right here. That means you've taken your body to that limit, right?
That's great. I wish I could feel that way when I was supposed to go to sleep at night. That's a good feeling. By the way, I only feel that way, like I can sleep at night after I have had that kind of exercise. So I hear you on that.
And look, people always say, I can't sleep at night. You take enough magnesium, it will knock you out.
Yeah.
That's
I'm hearing all sorts of great things about magnesium. Even I've always been a huge fan of your magnesium, and I take 3 a day, 2 at night and 1 in the morning, or 1 with food sometime during the day. I take 1 with food, and then I take 2 at night before bed. And, but now I'm hearing all kinds of great things about magnesium. So I'm going to order. You're not out of it, are you?
No, by the time, we were out for like a week or 2, but we're back in stock.
Okay. Because I need to order. I get the big ones. I don't get the small ones. I get 2 big things of magnesium at once.
Yeah. That's why we run out of stock. People, it's kind of like toilet paper.
I hoard it. I don't care.
People hoard it because no one ever wants to run out, and we can't keep that stuff in stock because, we make a broad spectrum magnesium. We use 4 different magnesiums in there. And
Great.
When you do that, you can take a lot more and you won't get the shits. You won't get stomach distress or anything else because we're using the expensive stuff. I take 4 at night and 2 in the morning.
Wow.
And that doesn't cause
Maybe I'll increase.
And I sleep like a baby. That's sleep great. Like a baby. So, I don't know how we got onto magnesium, but.
Well, because you're talking about sleeping and getting tired, and I have to exercise, but I also have to have the magnesium. I have a question for you. Kristy Smith, who's a super fan, and she works in a doctor's office, and she's delightful. And I believe, if I'm not speaking incorrectly, I think that she is a cancer survivor. But I just want to give her a shout out. But she wrote with a question I thought was really interesting about getting calories on people when they're not well. Because, like, obviously we talked about this a lot with George being sick, and just trying to get calories on people when they're going through the chemo and the radiation and things like that. And she had an idea, and have you ever done this or advised this for people, to basically like make a smoothie, because people can't swallow necessarily, like depending on what their situation is, making a smoothie out of meats and collagen powder and vegetables. I know it doesn't sound that great, but basically think of it like soup, right? Like if you're making a hot savory soup. Have you ever done that or heard of people doing that?
I've seen people, I've recommended because I talked to another someone that just got diagnosed, and it's pretty bad. I'm dealing with 3 cancer people right now. And, folks, remember, you can call me and we can talk and I can give you suggestions, but I'm not a doctor. But I'm dealing with 3 people with cancer right now, and my brother.
I'm sorry.
And, the whole thing is, when you're in the throes of chemo, like if you're getting tough chemo, heavy chemo, sometimes you don't want to eat. Like my brother was down. He said he couldn't take a sip of water without throwing it up.
Yeah.
Not even a
Rough.
sip. And it got so bad, he was dehydrating so badly. And he had to go get, IV transfusions a lot. And by the way, he's on his last round right now of chemo, and it's just kicking his ass. And I talk to people all the time. I end up telling people this. If something sounds appetizing to you and it's sugars or grains and you haven't eaten in a long time and you need to get some calories on you, fucking eat it. If a bowl of pasta with butter sounds good to you,
just
eat it.
Pack on some. Yeah.
Do something to get something in your body.
Right.
Always try to get water. I mean, like I said, my brother was down to where he couldn't drink water. It just becomes ridiculous. And people are going, wait, Vinnie's saying, no, I'm not saying go with that first. Bone broth, try that, because bone broth will give you a great amount of nutrients and it's something you can sip. Telling people to blend up meat, not a great idea.
You think that because it won't be appetizing, because it'll be.
I remember one of the few things I can eat when I was going through it. There's someone made I think I've talked, a pressed sandwich where they had a sandwich press where you.
Oh, the panini press or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like a George Foreman grill, but you press your sandwich in.
Right. I was at my friend Patty's house, a doctor, when I was getting my chemo, and Patty has, people that work for her.
Right.
Right. And she told these people whatever he needs. And the cooks were trying to cook for me and the whole thing. And I couldn't eat any of it.
I would imagine the smell would bother you as well.
Some days it would, some days it wouldn't. And I would take 1 or 2 bites and then I was it.
Yeah.
I couldn't have any more. But one day, all of a sudden my appetite just opened up. And one of the maids, do we call them maids, help people? I don't know what you call these people that work for people. So
the people who work for people.
Maids? Do we say maids anymore? We can
housekeepers.
Housekeepers? All right. If I've offended anyone, I'm sorry.
Chefs, housekeepers.
Oh, sure. She had a cook. This wasn't the cook. This woman kind of ran everything.
Well, there are house managers. Some people have house managers.
Okay. At any rate, this woman was making a panini for herself. And, she had some ham on there and some Swiss cheese and whatever else she put in. She pressed it together, put it in that sandwich press, and it bubbled the cheese and it toasted the bread and the whole thing. And she knew I hadn't eaten in a while. And she said, would you like to try this? And I said, sure, but don't give me much because I'm sure I won't be able to eat it. I ate a couple of bites and it went down easy. Mr. No sugar, no grains. Right. She gave me bread and ham and, man, the bubbly cheese, and it went down. Mm-hmm. And I said, hey, can I have more of that? And she was like, yeah, I'll make you one. I said, I don't think I can eat a whole one. So she gave me like half of her sandwich, and I gobbled that down. And then she made me one, right? I hadn't eaten in a long time.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden I had an appetite, and this was there and I was eating it, right? That's why I tell people when you're in the throes of chemo, try to stick to no sugars, no grains. Try to stick to no sugars as much as possible, because it sounds like I'm out of both sides of my mouth. Cancer is fed by sugar and it's fed by carbohydrates. Mm-hmm. That's not me guessing at this. This is a fact. But the bottom line is, at some point you're starving, really starving. Mm-hmm. I was down to 150 something pounds, 148 pounds. You see me, and I walk around at 180, 170. I was down to nothing. And to put food in your mouth when you look like a Biafran is what you do. You try to get any kind of nutrients in there.
For sure.
If someone wants
because at this point, it's energy. Like, you need to get energy in the person so that they have energy to fight.
Yeah. Taking things like liver, desiccated liver. Don't get the defatted one. Get the fatty desiccated liver.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, defatted. It takes all the minerals away. But
Mm.
maybe you can mix that in with water or something else, right? I tell people during those times, as you know, I'm not a big fan of taking bastardized proteins, but whey protein. I use a lot of whey protein, and I didn't want the vanilla stuff because when you get vanilla whey protein, it also has some kind of sugar or sweetener.
Right.
So what I did was I would take whey protein, I would crack an egg in it, maybe 2 eggs. I'm not suggesting you do that because eggs can give you salmonella. I was desperate.
If you get any shell, it's the shell and sometimes you don't know you got a little shell bit. But I
It'd
mean,
be
it becomes microscopic. That's the problem when you crack an egg.
right. But I would do that. Sometimes I would just do the whey protein, and I would put a little vanilla extract in there just to make it taste like something. And sometimes I could sip that down. I would throw ice cubes in there to cube it. I put a few cubes in there just to make it cool. Something going down my throat was good, right? And this is the same advice I give people that's in the throes of cancer. Buy some whey protein. Standard whey. You don't have to get the whey protein isolate or any of the special whey protein. You just get standard whey protein, and that will give you some nutrients. That will give you some amino acids. It will give your body something you can fight with. The aforementioned liver, desiccated liver. I did some of that. I started figuring out I can have the ham and cheese. I started saying to her, can you just take some ham and cheese and bubble that cheese on top and just make it? They started doing that for me.
Yeah.
And I started figuring out different ways. I figured I liked it like this. I would take a little Dijon mustard and have those rolls and I'd drag it through the mustard. Right. It wasn't much I was happy about eating, but that was one thing. Right. So whatever you can do, whatever sounds appetizing to you. A couple of times I was able to eat ice cream. I made it vanilla ice cream with, it was a better ice cream that just basically had cream and sugar.
Right. Obviously the idea of try to get the best quality food that you can buy, that you can afford, that's close by to you. Obviously that still applies.
Yeah.
But I want to say this too. She did send a label to something that the doctor's office gives out called Nestle Health Science. I guess it's their slurry, their whatever, their like version of Ensure.
Have the ingredients.
Yeah, you ready?
I'm having a bad day. Go on.
And I apologize for being the perpetrator of your bad day twice in a row, but here we go on round 2.
Wait, before you do that, can I ask you a very vague question?
Yeah.
Did your friend write back to you yet?
Yes, she doesn't know.
So she doesn't know if she's friended that person or not?
Oh no, she is friended to that person, but she doesn't know if someone who's not friended to that person.
Can someone give us that answer?
Nope, let's not talk about it on the air.
All right. I'm so sorry.
Let me read these ingredients. Don't worry. We have more to talk about off the air because shit's blowing up over here too. I'll tell you all about it.
Oh,
okay, so the Nestle, listen, Nestle's the one they make the baby formula. They own a bajillion food companies and they manufacture a lot of stuff around the world. They have been called out a number of times. So this is no surprise that they're making. Now, here's what I'm curious about, because it looks like a list of substances, like, the main ingredients, and then a bunch of vitamins that, as far as what I can tell, I want to get your expertise on this.
Start with the main. Go slowly because I'm writing some of them down.
Water, corn syrup, soy protein isolate, canola oil. And then it says, comma, and less than 2% of sodium caseinate milk, which I guess it means it's derived from milk, comma, medium chain triglycerides, calcium caseinate, potassium citrate, maltodextrin, calcium phosphate, magnesium phosphate, salt, calcium citrate, soy lecithin, potassium chloride. I'm only halfway through, Vinny. Would you like me to keep going?
No, because
We're starting into the vitamin section.
All right. So,
and amino acid section.
So I'm sure it's got a lot of vitamins and amino acids, right?
Let me just read them quickly. Choline chloride, sodium ascorbate, carrageenan. I'm not sure how to say that one. Taurine, L-carnitine, magnesium oxide, zinc sulfate, ferrous sulfate, dialpha tocopherol acetate, dextrose, niacinamide, calcium pantothenate, manganese sulfate, pyridoxine hydrochloride, thiamine hydrochloride, copper sulfate, riboflavin, beta carotene, vitamin A palmitate, folic acid, chromium chloride, potassium iodide, sodium molybdate, sodium selenate, vitamin K1, biotin, vitamin D3, vitamin B12.
Okay. All right. So all of that stuff is in such small supply. And by the way,
that's the less than 2% was after was the most. Yeah.
Sulfates and the whole thing. They're using the cheapest version. You know how I was talking about my magnesium a little while ago? If you buy magnesium from the grocery store or from a health food store, pretty much anywhere, they're going to have either citrate or carbonate. Those are both good magnesiums, right? I use them both in my broad spectrum. But if you take too much of those, you'll get the shits, right?
Right.
So that's why you have to mix in, the better stuff, the stuff that's even better than that. So you could get an absorption rate and the whole thing. These vitamins are in such short supply, right? I'd love to know the international units. I'm sure they don't give them. They just have that. They put vitamins.
They might, but that's not I don't have that screenshot, unfortunately. By the way, Kristy, thanks for sending all this. This is great.
You're not getting any significant vitamins and or minerals from this product. The number one thing in this product is water because it was first. So that's number one. Right behind water, corn syrup.
Mm-hmm. And you did say earlier cancer feeds on sugar, which is something that Kristy pointed out in her email too.
So
to me.
The number one ingredient in this thing that you're giving cancer patients actually helps cancer continue to grow. Corn syrup. The worst kind of sugar you could put in. You couldn't find a worse sugar if you tried. And then soy protein. Why soy protein? It's a protein, sure. But it's not even close to whey protein or egg protein. Not even close. You would probably have to take 7 to 10 times as much of this to get the same amino acid profile that you would get from one dose of whey protein, isolates or concentrate, or standard. Canola oil. We know canola, that's a seed oil. We know that's bad for you. It's nothing good in there. MCT oil, I'm pretty sure they're not putting real MCT oil. They're probably putting a powdered version of it, which means it was bastardized. So you're not getting anything there. And then on top of all that, we have more sugar in the form of dextrose, maltodextrose. They're giving this to people who are sick. Yeah. This is the kind of stuff that made you sick. This is what gave you cancer. Okay? Right. I'm not bullshitting here. Cancer grows when cells are damaged. That's how cancer grows. When mitochondria gets damaged, cancer grows out of that. I'm not making this shit up. Anna, do I have my tinfoil hat on today? No, I don't.
No.
I'm just being honest here. Let me look into the camera and say this again, because Debbie's going to want this for my, my Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Cancer grows from sugar. When you damage cells, you give cancer a chance to seep in. Cancer grows from damaged cells. You damage a cell, you get cancer. Now, you want to feed that cancer? You think it's going to feed off of oxygen? No, it doesn't feed off of oxygen because it's a closed cell. But you know what a carbohydrate is? It's carbon and oxygen, and that's what it feeds on. It's carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. It's three parts to a carbohydrate. Carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. You want to know what cancer feeds on? That. And what's Nestle doing? Nestle's giving you corn syrup and maltodextrin. Boom. Both of those are before the 2%. Both of them. Am I making that up?
Nope.
No.
Oh no, the maltodextrin's after the 2%. So thank God for small favors.
Sorry. Look, and you see, I wrote a line under it. I thought it was before the 2%. Okay, so I was wrong about that. But still, maltodextrin.
You didn't say stay motivated at the end of that. So I feel like it's you're still doing the rant.
No, she'll figure. We don't have to have it every time.
Okay, all right. Branching out.
I'm pissed. I'm pissed.
I know. Well, I just read more detail into Kristy's thing that they have a patient who has esophageal cancer. She can't swallow food. So that was her idea to try to, get some liquid calories on her that wasn't from
usually
corn
those
syrup and canola oil.
Can they feed her through the port? I guess if they're feeding her through the port, they're going to put this.
Yeah, they're feeding her through the port, but they're trying, everybody's just trying to help, you know what I mean? Trying to figure out a way to make things better for people. So it's really a sad situation. And anybody who's out there struggling, I'm sorry. And I hope this conversation's been helpful because it is a tricky thing. It's not easy.
I've spoken to a couple of cancer people today, man. It's rough. My brother's still going through it. A childhood friend, close friend of the family is going through it. She's got, her body is covered in cancer. Covered. Fucking healthcare system, man. The stuff I hear,
bad.
People want to know why I'm always upset. I deal with this stuff all day long.
Right.
I wake up happy. I'm a happy person, Anna. I wake up every morning and I'm happy. Yeah. And by 10 o'clock, I'm ready to put a bullet in my head. Because I can't stop trying to help people. Right? I know what they're going through. I went through it.
Right.
It's horrible. You know what's not horrible? Villa Cappelli olive oil.
Ooh.
Boy, I wish I had some right now.
Yeah, that would calm you down. You know what you need? Some Puglia pinch.
You know what? Let me see if I can get Serena to pick up. I hear her upstairs. I got the ALEXIA. I don't want to say it too loud.
Alexa.
Yeah, you can say it because she can't hear you.
Oh, okay. Alexa can't hear me or Serena can't hear me.
Oh,
Yeah.
All right. Let me see if this is going to work. All right. Alexa, call Serena. Let's see if it works. Okay. Alexa's calling her.
Okay. This is exciting.
Yeah,
you're going to get some Villa Cappelli olive oil. She might tell you to fuck off.
Yeah. Let's see if she does it. You see, it never works when I want it to work.
That's true. I'm surprised you got an Alexa. That's not a very Vinnie device. First of all, it's too technologically complicated, and second of all, they're listening.
I'm doing a podcast with Anna, and I'm on my 4th podcast, and my voice is going. Can you put a little Villa Cappelli in my shot glass and bring it down, please? Please, I'm begging, and I love you. Is she still there, Serena?
Did she hang up on you?
I don't know how Alexa works. I don't know how Alexa works. Serena put this thing down here and she says, you can talk to me now through this intercom.
Right.
Through the Alexa. I've never gotten a successful message.
Yeah, no, that doesn't seem to be working very well.
It's still green, so it's listening to me now.
You know what works better than an Alexa is Villa Cappelli olive oil.
Hang on. Did you get my message, hon? You see, Anna, we would do better if I had 2 cans in a string.
Yeah, I think that's what needs to happen. No, you know what you need? Remember those Nextel walkie-talkie wireless that like the construction workers used to use They're like walkie-talkies.
I have the ones we use them in the mountains when we go hiking.
That's what you need. You guys charge them up because you need them in your house.
They're charged up. Me and Cotty.
Then use them. Don't use an Alexa.
Serena wanted the Alexa. She's got the Alexa. She put one in my office, and I could never get it. I wonder if olive oil is going to show up down here. I wonder if she even heard.
If I were to look into a magic 8-ball, I think no.
Showing up, right?
No.
Should I try again?
Is it called a magic 8-ball, or am I conflating a cocaine term with a toy?
No, it's it was the
magic ball.
No, it was the magic 8-ball.
Okay. Isn't an 8-ball a cocaine thing? Like it's a measurement of cocaine. You know what's better than cocaine? Villa Cappelli olive oil. We have to do this ad. We got to finish this show, Vinny.
Go.
I know you're jonesing, and I get it. Villa Cappelli is the best olive oil on the planet. It is made in Puglia, Italy by Stephen Crutchfield. They are right now harvesting the olives. They do an early harvest, and that's why it has a little peppery finish, the Puglia pinch, they call it. It is absolutely delicious. If you have only had big brand olive oils, grocery store olive oils here in the States, and then you order Villa Cappelli, you're going to be very pleasantly surprised that it has way more flavor. And by the way, olive oil is supposed to have more flavor. Real extra virgin olive oil. Eat it young. Eat it as soon as you get it. Order the 3-liter tin. Order the 750 milliliter bottle. I don't care what you order. Just order it. Oh, somebody said that they use the Olio Santo, which is like, I think, the pepper finished oil in a recipe, and it sounded delicious. You can get the lemon flavored olive oil. They have different salts and all. You're just going to take your cooking to the next level. You're going to love it. It's great in dressings and marinades. It's great to fry your vegetables. If you go to my Instagram, almost everything that you see, my overhead shots where I'm showing you a recipe, almost every recipe starts with a swirl of Villa Cappelli olive oil in the pan. When you shop for Villa Cappelli, you're going to want to use the discount code Vinnie, VINNIE. Vinnie. You'll get 10% off your order each and every time. It is so good and well worth the splurge on yourself. Make sure you order around $145 to $150, because then when you use the discount code Vinnie to get your 10% off, you will still qualify for the free shipping that they offer over a certain amount if you order. I can't remember the exact amount, but you want to take advantage of the free shipping because it costs a fortune to ship olive oil and like products. So Villa Cappelli olive oil, best olive oil on the planet. Hopefully Vinny's got some on his way now. He's back.
Thank you, honey. Thank you for the Villa Cappelli. Love you. Love you.
If you want Villa Cappelli to save your marriage, go to villacappelli.com. Use the discount code Vinnie.
Oh, good. Why does she smell so good?
She looks good too. She looks super cute in those glasses.
Yeah. Why do I want to kill her right now? Hang on. Let me gargle. Oh God.
Lauren's been sleeping in the other room because the dog's been waking up so much, and it's, he can't get himself back to sleep. So he was like, let me just take a few nights and sleep in the other room. And then last night he's like, okay, well, I'm ready to get back in the bed, and I was like, nah, I think one more night.
Yeah. You need another night.
I need one more night. Just
Anna, I can tell you, this is the Villa Cappelli from, remember I had to buy an organic 3-liter tin because
was that one of the organic ones?
Yeah, because it tastes different. You could taste it is different.
Is it? I've never had their organic. I've only had the regular.
It's more peppery somehow. Ooh. I don't know why.
Well, to be fair, if it's from the harvest that I think it is, there was one harvest that was more peppery than the rest. So I think that was site-wide based on that one harvest.
With this particular oil,
mm-hmm.
when you add a little salt to this, sometimes I'll put a couple of little sprinkles of salt in there.
Yeah.
It's the most delectable thing in the world.
Good. It really is.
People think I'm kidding. Look, folks, if you're watching this video, I'm drinking olive oil from a shot glass.
Yeah.
That's how good this stuff is.
That is not alcohol. That is olive oil.
This is not alcohol. This is Villa Cappelli olive oil.
Yeah.
In a shot glass.
Yeah.
Boom.
So good.
So there you have it.
We did a show.
Can we just call this the show?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Because
you're moving on to from olive oil to scotch. I could tell you that much.
Well, it is a football game tonight, so maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Thursday night football.
Thursday night football. Yeah. Oh, I know. He'll be
Did you guys
watching.
see that? Did you guys see that Monday night game? Aaron Rodgers.
That was crazy.
That was maybe the craziest game I've
That
ever
punt
seen.
return at the end was crazy.
Look, the whole thing is not, it was on 9/11. It's in New York.
Mm-hmm.
Their freshly minted quarterback that flew in from Green Bay, Wisconsin, and everybody thought. I mean, it was electric. And then
It was so good.
4 plays into Aaron Rodgers, all of a sudden, boom, he gets hurt. I mean, the whole stadium just deflated. And
And
what
he's out
happened?
for the season,
Yeah,
right? His Achilles tendon popped or something?
I don't know. I don't know if he's out for a season, but he's out for a while.
Yeah.
And what happened in that game? It went into overtime. No, I got
It was overtime that did not last very long.
no. It was maybe one of the most exciting Monday night games I've ever seen.
It was especially for the season opener Monday Night Football. That was fun.
It was as exciting as pretty close. The Immaculate Reception. Franco Harris, Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
You've
no,
heard,
I know. Yeah,
you have a,
I've heard of Franco. Okay.
you've heard of the
Do you know who I'm
Italian.
married to?
You know,
Franco Jr.
Franco Harris is the only man that's loved by the Black community and the Italian community.
That's right. That's true.
Yeah.
If you were put Franco Harris and Terry Bradshaw into one person who had no, I'm not gonna say he's actually an athlete, but he's not a professional athlete. Into one person, that would be Lauren Tarquinio.
Yeah, pretty much.
Or at least he's imbued with the essence of his heroes, Franco Harris and Terry Bradshaw.
Everyone loves those guys.
They're great.
And,
They're great.
it's hard to believe I was no longer here.
I know, it's crazy.
Yeah. About a year ago.
Oh my God. I know we never covered it. You probably already did. We don't have to belabor it, but I thought of you so much when the news of Jimmy Buffett's passing. And I read his obituary, and it was either the New York Times or the LA Times. What a fabulous obituary. What an amazing life. I know we've talked about him repeatedly on this show, but it was so fascinating to read his story. What a fascinating dude. And beloved by everybody.
I used to tell people all the time, they go, "Oh, you like Jimmy Buffett?" I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "What do you like about him?" It was like, okay, the guy
who doesn't like Jimmy Buffett? He has the most likable persona / song / this whole thing is likable.
Well,
it's just
had
fun.
I'm saving that song for the end. He had more songs. I mean, he had more books than the New York Times bestseller list in every category: fiction, non-fiction, biography, autobiography, children's book. I think like one other author had one in each category.
Yeah.
You know, the guy was just prolific. And I did a little tribute to him on my Instagram. You know, it's he gave guys like me hope because he grew up in Mississippi in the middle of nowhere and became, he was a big New Orleans Saints fan. He loved New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
The guy somehow made himself a billionaire.
It was amazing.
Yeah, he was just that guy.
Hey, you don't want to by any chance give me judgments on book? I'm supposed to post these book covers from the publisher.
Sure.
Make me the host of the Zoom real quick. And then audience, you can, if you're watching, you can see and vote on which one you like.
Tell me how to do that.
Okay, go down to participants. No, I'm sorry. Under my name, the 3 dots under my window on the right, it says make me host or whatever, make host. And if you make me the host, I will feed off your soul.
The life of it? No, it's make host.
Thank you.
Change host. There we go.
I'm now the host. Okay, ready?
Yeah, go on. Let's see him. Now I'm judging which one I like the best.
Mm-hmm. Do you see it?
I see option 1 and option 2.
You see the 2 pictures above them?
I see option 1 and option 2. Yeah, I see the pictures.
Okay, which one do you like?
The one that grabs my eye more is option 2.
Interesting.
Um, just all the way around, it grabs me. Just, yeah.
Okay.
Why is you don't like you prefer option 1?
Well, here's the thing. I do prefer option 1, but I was also in a Barnes and Noble recently and just looking at, in Barnes and Noble, they must sell a lot of cookbooks because they have an entire wall, like 100-foot wall of cookbooks, at least in the one in Westlake Village, they do. And I was looking at like, what would be because you want to stand out, right? So it's not just about Amazon. It's also about what's going to stand out at the bookstore, the few bookstores we have left. And the meatball one stood out to me, but I like both of them. So that's why, and the publisher asked that I put it out and we get opinions. So I will stop the share. Thank you for your input.
But here's the thing.
I like both of them.
Leave them up for a sec.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't hate one over the other.
No, they're both good. I probably would be great going with either one.
Here's, you want me to tell you what I like and don't like?
Yeah.
The first one, I thought that was my chili thing there. And
how funny.
I didn't choose it because that's what it looks like when I do the Vinnie, triple crime chili.
Right. When it's actually a pot of meatballs in sauce. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The other one, the white, the clearer white background with the green and the red, Eat Happy Italian.
Mm-hmm. It's very Italian. Gives you the colors.
It gives you like kind of the feeling. And then your name is easily seen and your name carries weight because you've written 2 other books, very successful books. Whereas Anna Vocino is kind of hidden, in the meat.
I think the meatball one, they need to capitalize my name instead of just doing capitalize the whole name rather.
And then there's the thing, 100% grain-free.
100 gluten-free, grain-free, low-carb recipes for living La Bella Vita.
Yeah.
I think it works better as the circle that's actually a low-carb manicotti. One reason I like that dish is because it looks like it could be a traditional pasta dish, but it's not. It's actually low-carb manicotti.
Whenever I see a little circle like that, I always tend to read them because, there's something about the circle that always makes me go, oh, let me see what's in here.
Right.
Right. Whereas the other thing, it almost looks like I thought I was going to read your name down there, and it turns out your name was. So
okay.
Just guttural reaction. I like the one with the lasagna, whatever that is.
Okay, great. You might have sold me on that one then. Well, I'm going to post this in the group and get some votes.
Yeah, let's see what happens.
Ultimately, I get a say, but ultimately they're going to pick the one they're going to want to use anyway, because that's part of what I've given up. But, they're a good publisher and they obviously, I had a very heavy hand in the design of both of these.
Of course.
But, the more then you walk away and then you look at things again and you're like, well, I'll stop the share. You look at things again and then you're like, oh, I should change that. Oh, that doesn't work. Oh, this needs to be lowered. Oh, that needs to be bigger. It just, how it is.
Well, folks, if you want to eat happy the way I do, you want the arrabbiata, you want to get yourself some of the puttanesca. If it's not too late, you want to get yourself some of the pumpkin marinara. And one of my favorites right next to the arrabbiata, the pink crema. These are all gravies that
this is the Vinnie section right here.
Yeah. Yeah, that she puts mine right. That's the way it looks in my pantry. They're right next to each other. Go check out eathappykitchen.com. You can also get free recipes there. If you don't mind paying for recipes, she's got 2 books full of recipes. People ask me about them all the time. People tell me they love the books. We use the books here. I know we use them a lot because they're full of splashed gravy and splashed everything. That's how you know a cookbook is being used. It looks
my gosh. People were bringing, when I was in Seattle, people were bringing their books to sign, and shout out to Tommy Walker, who came with his beautiful wife and their kids, and he handed me that book, and I was like, oh my God, this book has been spilled on.
Yeah.
And his wife goes, oh, he cleaned it before he brought it to you.
Oh God.
And I was like, Tommy, that's a well-used book. So thank you.
That's how you know
That's how you know.
That's
And
how
by
you
the
know.
way, because you do the same thing with the NSNG PDF, you do a charge on it. I do,
Right.
you give out the information for free on these podcasts, but if you want it all in the PDF, it's $10. I do have PDF versions of my books for $8.99. They're $1 cheaper than the Kindle version at Amazon. I
Yeah.
can't control the pricing of the hardcovers though at Amazon, which drives me nuts. The third book, by the way, is going to be a soft cover, but a really nice high quality soft cover, but that automatically brings the price point down. So that'll be interesting to
Good.
see.
Yeah, I
it
think
does.
people care more about, not the heirloom quality of a book anymore. They
Yeah,
just want
I do. I
information.
like heirloom books, but this book's going to be beautiful.
Yeah, I like hardcovers. So folks, check out everything Anna's doing. You know what to do with me. We all go shopping on Amazon. Before you go there, go to VinnieTortorich.com, click through the banner. It puts coal on the fire, gets my train down the track. Anna just mentioned the NSNG ebook, so check that out. Okay. So on behalf of Anna Vocino, my name is Vinnie Tortorich. Put life into living, and let's do it with a little bit of the late great Jimmy Buffett.